In this video, I'm going to review the basics of concealment mechanics and provide you with some homework at the end with a book, a worksheet, and everything. By the end of this video, you should have all the basic knowledge that you'll need for starting your concealment journey. There are 3 primary goals we want to achieve in order to effectively conceal a firearm. Find your concealment sweet spot, get enough grip rotation, and get enough grip tuck. First, I want to start by defining some terms that will help with finding your concealment sweet spot. Peaks and valleys. Peaks are part of your body that stick out further than others. Generally, your clothing will hug your peaks. For larger individuals, this could be at the 12 o'clock position, whereas for smaller individuals, it could be closer to the 2 o'clock position. Valleys are the areas where there is space between the body and the clothing. Knowing where your peaks and valleys are plays a vital role in finding where to place your gun. While peaks should be avoided, valleys are the best place to conceal a weapon. Finding your concealment sweet spot. For most people, the torso will peak along the vertical and horizontal planes. Stacking the gun directly on that peak will increase obvious printing. The flatter your abdomen, the more you can position the gun at 12 o'clock and the equator of your abdomen. If the intersection of 12 o'clock and the equator of your belly is your widest point, then experiment with moving the gun off center between 1 and 2 o'clock for right-handed users. Grip rotation and grip tuck. One of the most challenging portions of the gun to conceal is the edge of the grip. Grip printing is caused by the gun not conforming to the body and the grip of the gun extending past the silhouette of clothing. Some holsters will use a claw or a wing, which uses belt pressure and leverage to pivot the grip until it makes full contact with your body, keeping the grip inside the silhouette of your clothes. Another potential problem is caused by the top of the holster tipping outwards, which often results in the top of the slide or rear sight printing. This can often be remedied by adding a wedge to the body side of your holster. A wedge, either foam or molded into the holster shell, makes the holster shape more organic, thus fitting your organic shape better. It can fill in gaps between the holster and your body and control how the gun tilts, rotates, and balances while being worn. Keel Principle. Think of the belt line like a surface of the ocean. We'll call it the waterline. Without a keel, a ship might tip over. The mass and the length of the ship below the waterline helps keep it stable and balanced. The same principles apply to concealed firearms, hence the Keel Principle. Take a look at this Glock 26. With a full magazine, almost the entire mass of the gun is above the belt. With nothing to balance that out, the grip will tilt away from the body, causing printing, and drive the muzzle inward, causing an uncomfortable hotspot. A keel can be added to the holster to stabilize the gun. For example, a longer Glock 19 or even a 17 holster can be used. The extra muzzle length combined with a tight belt will help balance the top-heavy gun. Checking for consistency. Remember, you are constantly moving and your clothing will move with you. Your clothing will tighten and loosen based on what you do. For example, if you bend forward while carrying behind your hip, you're almost guaranteed to print or expose. To ensure your body movement does not induce unwanted printing in public, try taking a video of yourself doing movements you might find yourself doing while you're out and about. Reach above your head, sit, bend, walk, or even jog in place to see if your concealment passes the test before leaving the house. Safety. Finally, we can't do a start here video without addressing important safety considerations for carrying inside the waistband. One of the most dangerous things we do as concealed carriers on a regular basis is holstering our firearm. Because of the direction we're moving our gun, we are at a higher risk of actuating our trigger. This is why it's imperative that we are very intentional and careful as we holster our firearm. First, ensure your finger is high and on the slide. For appendix carry, safe holstering looks like stepping your strong side leg back, clearing all obstacles and garments, and ensuring that your support hand is safely out of the path of the muzzle. Leaning back to avoid angling the gun inwards, and carefully looking the gun into the holster. The gun should not be holstered without looking. For strong side, this looks like bringing your feet closer together to keep the strong side leg out of the path of the muzzle. Clearing all obstacles and garments, ensuring that your support hand is safely out of the path of the muzzle, leaning to the side in order to avoid angling the muzzle inwards, and carefully looking the gun into the holster. This might feel like a bit of a challenge, but it's important that we look the gun into the holster in order to avoid fishing the gun into the holster and muzzling the body. Now it's time for that homework I mentioned. Linked below, you'll find PHLster's free concealment ebook and a printable worksheet to help guide you. This worksheet exists as a tool to isolate each variable and observe the effect, so you don't get lost in changing too many things at once. It also helps you get your next gun and holster set up faster, so don't forget to save your observations. First, you'll discover your concealment boundaries. Next, you'll learn about finding your concealment sweet spot within those boundaries. And finally, you'll use the poke and check method to isolate problem areas. At this point, we have walked hundreds of people through their personal concealment journeys, and since we can't guide everyone individually, this resource is the step-by-step guide for how we would walk you through concealing a gun on your body. This worksheet combined with the video references should be everything you need in order to jumpstart your concealment journey.